While historic towns in Maui are still sealed off to vacationers, popular spots surrounding the wildfire devastation continue welcoming back tourists. Ted Linder takes a look at how the process to reopen portions of West Maui is impacting residents and why local leaders say it's critical the Hawaiian Islands tourism is re-energized.
2 months after wildfires decimated portions of West Maui, parts of the Hawaiian island are starting to see some familiar sights.
Everybody here is always welcoming.
This as tourists continue returning to hotels in areas north of the devastated town of Lahaina, where nearly 100 people were killed and more than 2,000 buildings were destroyed.
Just want to make sure that people really take notice of our great loss.
To prevent interference to recovery efforts, portions of West Maui were previously closed to tourists until October 8th. According to research from the University of Hawaii, Maui has lost more than $13 million a day in tourist spending since the fires. But the economic staple is sparking outrage from thousands of residents who signed petitions against the reopening, saying it's too soon for outsiders to return.
It's just baffling to me. We didn't even get a chance to speak for ourselves.
Government officials say thousands of hotel rooms in West Maui are either empty or being used to house wildfire victims. The mayor of Maui County says he's working to ensure no victims will be forced from their temporary shelters to make room for tourists. Wildfire survivors are asking tourists to stay away from burn zones and not to post pictures or videos of the destruction.
We know not all visitors are bad. We just say just respect the families.
Meanwhile, cleanup efforts rage on in Lahaina, where crews are working to keep potentially toxic ash from burned debris from seeping into the soil and ocean.
Everything from asbestos to pesticides to, hydrocarbons.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
A new report says cigars are increasingly becoming popular among youth in the U.S. The report by Rutgers University finds about 500,000 youth smoke cigars, with more than 800 youth per day using them for the first time. The report says small flavored cigars, often at a cheap price, are partly to blame. The report says cigars are now the second most popular tobacco products for youth. The Food and Drug Administration says it is finalizing plans to ban the sale of flavored cigars. Thousands of turkeys have died or have been infected with the avian flu. As Lucy Nelson tells us, so far only one farm in Utah has been impacted, and officials say it's too early to tell if it will have an impact on turkey sales during the upcoming holiday.
We were hoping that we were going to get by this year without seeing any cases, even though it has been going around the United States.
Since 2022, around 58 million birds in the U.S. have been slaughtered because of the avian flu. And this week, Utah Department of Agriculture and Food spokesperson Bailey Wolstenhume says it's creeping into Utah again.
Unfortunately, it was a larger turkey farm down there in Sanpete County that contracted the disease.
We checked in with a few turkey farmers here in Sanpete County, and while they did not want to comment on the recent outbreak, Bailey says this is inopportune timing with Thanksgiving just around the corner.
It's just devastating for that farm to have this happen at this time, or any time really, but especially at this time, because it means that every bird on the premises unfortunately does have to be depopulated.
She says the avian flu is incredibly contagious, and the department has crews testing and monitoring nearby farms and areas.
Of course, because of the likelihood of this disease spreading, it is spread by wild birds, so the likelihood of it being in that area is higher.
She's not sure whether it will impact turkey prices this year. They're advising all farmers to check their birds for symptoms.
Utah is one of the larger turkey farm producers in the United States, and so we're just hoping that it does not spread throughout any more of our farms.
We'll be back in just a moment.